Yes. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm in the building right now. I promised you guys a show yesterday. Look at my camera's all jacked up. I just got back home. I know you can barely see me. But I wanted to do a show. I got a double show for you guys today. I'll be back later with my boy John. And shout out to the people who are coming into the chat room right now. And here's the thing. When the government comes out and tells you everything is all good and everything is all fine, things are not fine. I just wanted to wrap up the trading day with you guys here. We're watching the markets right now. I got the daily chart. Let's see. We'll go on a 1 minute, even though I think it's paranoid chart to watch. But I just wanted to wrap up, spend an hour with you guys, see what you're trading today. All right. Yeah, the light's fucking up my green screen. So we'll just put it to the side right now. Who's out there trading? Shout out to the people in the chat room. Gucci, Crypto Mike, Quintavious, what's up? 646, you're on the air.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey, it's Ken. I'm not used to having a show in the middle of the workday. How are you?
Good, Ken. I'm just watching the markets and missed my show yesterday, so I'm here to make it up. What are you trading right now?
Awesome. Okay, so I bought a few calls, the August 3rd calls on IWM, the 171s.
Okay.
I think the IWM, sheltered from the tariff crisis, this tariff crap. I think you can't go wrong with a few IWM calls.
Yeah, let me look at the, let me spread the chart out a little bit. Let me look at the 5 minute here. And IWM, man, I mean, it's been a very beautiful play here over the last several days. Let me see here, the daily. Let's go back. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. You got your buy signal today as it crossed back above that Keltner channel. And yes, today was the buy signal in IWM. Nice.
All
play.
right.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. And I know you don't like doing this, playing calls into earnings, or I guess the best strategy is to strangle. Microsoft reports at 4:00 today. I know it's gone up a lot. Thoughts on that? Would you test the waters on that one?
You know what? Their cloud business has been incredible, and it's been one of the reasons why they've ran up so aggressively over the last several months. So, companies like Microsoft, NVIDIA, and many of those, I think that lead the way forward in terms of technology. I wouldn't mind going into earnings playing those kind of setups. So I think you look good here. I'm surprised today. Well, I mean, QQQ is down slightly today, but I think they should deliver a good number, being that their last number was really good as well.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, those two. Just a couple penny stocks. The CELZ. They had news this morning. Some kind of contract was in Russia. I can't make this up, but the stock is holding the gains from the morning pop on the CELZ this morning. The chart doesn't look half bad. Yeah,
CELZ. I don't know what's going on with it. These companies, they tell you all kind of things about what they're doing in other countries or whatnot. But hey, we're not there to verify it, so we don't know what they're saying. We don't know whether it's true or they're lying or not. But look, it looks like the market likes it. Decent volume today, up 13%.
Right. And I saw your report on DRUS. I got out of it.
Yeah.
The DRUS. Just because a company, a penny stock, promotes government contracts doesn't mean it's going to the moon, because they're probably diluting. When they released another government contract of $659,000 this morning, and they're probably diluting while they announce that.
Right.
I guess.
And that's absolutely the thing. And we talked about it, and I said, hey, I got a report already made on DRUS. I'm going to hold it back because it looked like the market was going good. And the fact that you were in it, and then the very next day shits on itself and says, you know what? Damn, I should have put this out. And I was like, God damn, I should have put it out.
That wasn't a lot. But, a $300 investment wasn't a lot for me.
Yeah. So I put that out and showing DRUS is hemorrhaging cash. The CEO he's got his house up on the company. I mean, he's putting so many of his personal assets up, which some people may say is a good thing, but I actually say it's the worst thing to go. And it's a very complicated scheme with the other companies underneath DRUS, and the fact that they don't actually have any drones. And I mean, it's just a complicated business. And I just feel like there are better opportunities out there.
Yep. And just two more. The bankruptcy play we talked about a couple nights ago, BIOAQ, that's Bio Amber. There was some kind of report out, the Pacer report from the court yesterday, revealing I think 8 bidders, and stocks up 19% today on heavier volume. And if you look at the chart, it's been basing for, I'd say, about a month and a half between 4 and 6 cents a share. Mm-hmm. And supposedly the bids are going to be unsealed at the end of the month. I think it's July 31st. So we got another week and a half here. I think it's a good play. I mean, even you could just play the channel and make money doing with this penny stock, the BIOAQ. Just keep an eye on this one.
I'll definitely watch out. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Mr. Lloyd, Jeff, Anthony Brown, Snipe, Bad Scientist. What's up, guys? Look, as long as I'm not a fan of Q stocks. I mean, I know many people who watch it, we're not the fan, but at the end of the day, it's holding that 20 EMA, which is the center of the Keltner channels, very well. So obviously there are buyers here, and you just play that as your stop. But for the most part, it looks like right now it's holding that 20 EMA and looking really good.
Thank you. And Trader 53 on Investors Hub, he's been hyping that ADTM forever. Apple, David, Tom, Mary, the 000 stock, 000, I think 7 today on a heavier volume than we've seen in a while. Again, that's the kind of play you can play the channel. It's gone from 0005 to 0012 a month ago. It could do that again in the next couple of days. So just, a few $100, you can make some money on that one.
We'll be watching. I appreciate you.
Enjoy. Thanks, Sticker.
Thank you, Ken. Shout out to Ken. Always with the good ticker. It's going us through them. What's going on, guys, in the chat room? All right. Leading you into Power Hour. Just want to see what the market's doing. I mean, we can't even have a down day. I mean, but look, at the end of the day, our government is selling the bullish narrative. And I just wish I could see it. I just wish I could see it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. When I liked oversold financials for the last couple of days, but then when we see Citigroup beat earnings by a penny, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. Citigroup beat earnings by a penny. Unilever, a company that I think you would put that in consumer discretionary. They missed. American Express missed. eBay missed. I mean, so now I'm like, okay, why are we going higher when some of these great consumer staples are not doing well? Are not doing well. We talked Microsoft just now with Ken. I'm hoping that they deliver. They're probably one of the first big technology names out the gate. I'll have to look out the chart to see who's playing up next. Someone say gold ran today. I'm not surprised. Gold has been beat up for so long. Gold has just been beat up for so long. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at a possible stake in GLD. Mr. Lloyd, what's going on, man? You're on the air.
What's up, man? Good afternoon. I can tell you why you're not seeing it. It's because we're looking too close, man. I mean, honestly, we are looking entirely too close. If you're a intraday trader and you just, and it's just, we have to look out further. And I feel that the charts are setting up. I finally believe that the charts are setting up for Amazon to miss next week.
Ooh.
I honestly feel that way. And I called Netflix out. I wrote Netflix down this morning.
Yeah.
I bought a credit spread yesterday, and I bought a put yesterday, the 272s at 590, and I sold it at 11. Excuse me, 9. Excuse me, I'm not gonna say 11. It went all the way up to 11, but I sold it at 9. Because you're at work, you don't got time to be
right. No, and you were spot on the money. I mean, even here on the weekly, especially on the daily, we already saw the sell sign. And we talked about this a couple of days ago, Mr. Lloyd. You're absolutely right. Netflix is showing a sell signal here, and I think you hold it for who God knows how long this is going to be.
I went ahead and got the 267 puts for the 27th. We still got room to go, but I truly believe. And you can go to StockTwits and take a look at it, man. StockTwits is probably pumping the hell out of Amazon, and so all these buyers are going to go in there. And the best way I determine to see, you know, how earnings is going to do is to see where the volume is at 12:30. If there's an aftermarket at aftermarket earnings, where's the volume sitting? Where are people sitting at? And usually you can just tell by where people are sitting. But I feel like we are setting Amazon up because it needs to reset. I mean, it did three straight times. It's going to go down. I mean, I thought Netflix. I mean, I thought Netflix earnings was going to go through the roof. I was using my perception though, based on what, you know, turn on Netflix. Okay, they're producing movies, you know. So I'm using my perception to determine how earnings is going to be. But the charts are setting the charts, and we talked about this in the past, and I feel like I got a little bit more understanding on how this works. Because if you look at, like I said, if you look at the SPX, typically on an average day, it goes up $20, $30, $17. It just goes up.
It's
no matter what.
It was ridiculous for a while there. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right. And so now, as you see, it's putting out.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it's putting out. And I'm not guessing or anything like that, but because of the momentum is slowing down or potentially shifting, that to me could be the signal for that what you're needing to determine where we're going. I mean, because just use the past information we got, man. I mean, it's clear that I can never short the Qs or the SPY. I tried my damnedest to short it, but it just kept going. It's like it's unstoppable. But I think we're setting up for Amazon to do its reset, and we may lose $100 on Amazon. So I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with some bullshit news as to why it failed. Because look, is Prime Day the same time every year before earnings?
Yeah, Prime Day it just happened. It was the last 2 days. I know they still got some kind of special going on, but Prime Day was the last 2 days. They had a little bit of issues, but the number was ridiculous. I mean, they came out, they said this was their best Prime Day that they'd ever had. And Prime Day is becoming a thing of itself, man. It's almost bigger than Black Friday. So yeah, Prime Day was a very big success for Amazon. Not for the workers, but definitely for Amazon. But that has nothing to do with earnings this coming week. So we'll see what delivers.
And how you feeling right now about Amazon? I mean, you said you have an issue seeing it. Can you just kind of tell me a little bit about what you're having a hard time seeing?
Well, I mean, in general, my thing is like, when I see the economy, I'm hearing our government bringing out every damn clown they got to talk about how great the earnings are and how all these jobs are. But I'm not. Maybe it's my social network, but I'm just not seeing it on the ground in terms of how great our economy is. I'm seeing restaurants closing. I'm seeing office parks that are losing tenants. I'm seeing, if anything, a consolidation of our economy. And if there is growth, it's at the higher tier levels of, you know, high net worth or higher. I'm not seeing it with middle class Americans, right? Whether we talk about when I go home to Michigan, I'm not seeing it on the ground, man. I'm not seeing this great economy where people are supposedly making more. I'm seeing people taking out more debt, people taking out more money out of their homes. I'm seeing elderly people doing these reverse mortgages because they don't have enough money saved up. I'm not seeing it on the ground the way the government is telling me.
Well, and here's the sad thing, man, and you're absolutely right. You know, my grandmother had five apartment buildings she sold. She's 80 right now, but she had 5 apartment buildings she sold probably in the 90s to late 90s at about $800,000, and she retired. She retired, and the problem that we're running into is that inflation is killing us, and so we are going. I don't even put anything in my retirement anymore because it's a waste. It's a waste of money. And actually, you know, it's so funny. Every time I make some money in the stock market, I go to work. I say, I just took your weekly, you know, your weekly input into your retirement today, because basically all the money that we're putting into our retirement is going into this big ass pool that anybody can take out. You take my money, Bats take my money, everybody takes my money. So I mean, and the reason why I'm saying this is because our retirements are only based for bullish, you know, for it to go up.
They don't never call me. Right. That's absolutely right. I mean, these IRAs, 401ks, they're all set up for the market to do one thing, and that's up. I mean, God help you if the market crashes, because these things, they wipe out so quickly. I mean, it's game over.
Right. I called my a broker called me yesterday saying that they wanted to get me into some IRAs. I said, well, how many accounts do you have? And he said, well, I got about 20. I said, well, in the event that the market shall crash, are you going to call me up to get me out? He said, well, no, usually I take my highest client first and get them out, and then I'll work my way down. I said, you know what? I'll just take care of my own money, man, because I'll push the button myself. I'm not going to sit here and wait on you to get through all your clients out before you get me out. So the realization, man, is that, you know, we have been training ourselves for this moment. You've been talking about this doomsday for a long time, and I swear we're inching closer and closer to something. We're getting closer.
I still think I wouldn't say any day away, but we're within 12 to 24 months of a big sell-off.
And you made a point as far as the inversion narrative, and that's something I've been hearing a lot as far as the inversion narrative they've been giving us, feeding us to make us believe that things are going good, and it's not. It's not going good. You know it's not. I mean, because we see how the market is going, but for the average person, you know, we live in a matrix. You know what I'm saying? And so they have no clue. They go to work, they pay their bills, they come home, and it just starts over and over and over again. It's almost like the same thing. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I'm sorry I'm off topic, but yeah. So I'm currently. I went back in Netflix with puts. I still think we have more room to go. And are you going to be doing this show every morning like this? Cause
no, I'm just making up for last night. So you know, I come in the morning once in a while. I mean, during the day sometimes I've popped up here. This is my second time doing that, and it seems like guys like it. So that's a good thing to see. And I don't mind doing it during the day if it's a little more convenient for you guys. You know, I'm home building websites and whatnot.
I had to run outside to work. Like, oh no, man, you got snow going up.
Okay, but no, I'll stick to the evening. But no, yeah. So I got my buddy John coming back tonight. We'll do a little show tonight specifically about the economy, and we'll talk a little immigration and stuff. So I'll have John Bogan up if you guys want to call back in later tonight as well.
Cool, Sal. I appreciate it. Hey, you ain't playing anything right now?
Right now I'm in SPX. I'm in a Condor, man. I'm in an Iron Condor right now. This is like my third time doing this, and you know, it's okay. It's a little boring, right? Because you know, there's not much to do. But I've been posting my games there on Instagram, and every day it gives me about anywhere between $400 to $700. And it's not all right, man. I mean, but you know, it definitely makes you a little lazy, but at the same time, right now I was having trouble, you know, getting the direction of the market right. So I said, you know what, let me just put it out there, see what happens. And so far I like it, but I'm looking for a real move to happen in the market soon so we can get a more definite idea of what are we really going to do over the next 30 to 60 days.
Now, how long have you been playing Iron? How long have you been using the Iron Condors?
So this is my third time doing. This is my third time in 2 months doing Iron Condors, and I like the returns so far. The returns are solid. I mean, you can get anywhere between, you know, right now this trade I'm in now is a 30% return. So it's a nice trade that's doing well. And again, I posted it on my Instagram. People can see it there. And it's all right. I mean, it's all right. Sometimes, you know, you'll get a day where the market moves against you. But again, those each side, the put side and the call side, adjust. And at the end of the day, it's really all about the time and the time slipping away. And it evens itself out. So I like it. I like it right now.
You know, it blows my mind sometimes with these options, especially when you got spreads and you'll get in all of a sudden. The market maker will play with that number, and it looks like you're down like $200 to $300, and then it'll just switch right back. But if I was like I don't know if you've ever seen it. I mean, it happens all the time with me where I'll buy a spread, and you know, let's say, you know, one at $5 and one at $8, and all of a sudden one contract goes to $10 and back to $8, so it makes it look like you're at a loss.
Right.
But if I was a rookie, I probably would have like, oh my gosh, let me get out of here.
Right. You would sell on that, but you know how much time you've got left, and you just have to understand that prices fluctuate, and that's just what's going to happen during the trade.
Right. When was the last time you bought shares, man? I mean, when was the last time you actually bought a large amount of shares of anything and just held on to it?
It's been a while, bro. I'm all options right now, man. I mean, at the end of the day, when you add the leverage, the amount of money I'm working with, it just doesn't make sense for me to go in stock, particularly with the quality of the companies that I'm buying now. Unless I had 30 million sitting in my bank account, it wouldn't make sense for me to buy stock because I'm buying good quality companies that are really kind of like leading the way or will lead us to disaster if it all comes falling apart.
Right. Okay. Well, good. So I appreciate it, man. Man, right now I'm up 125 and Netflix. Man, it just that rinse and repeat, man. I was telling Money Green, man. Don't even let me get started, man. We'll chat later, brother.
Appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd, man.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good day. All right, bye-bye.
Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. What's going on, Ryan Gets It, Fisher G, Londale Carter, everybody in the chat room. Jeff, what's up? Stop loss on all trades. That's what's up. Let me see here. Yeah, inflation. Yeah, inflation's been a big problem, Aaron. Inflation's been a very big problem. In fact, in John's book, he was talking about how in the 1950s, the middle home was about $7,000. Now the average home, depending on where you live, is anywhere between $250,000 to $300,000. All right. Got calls coming in. 919. I think this is Bats. 703. You'll be next. 919. What's up?
Hey, Sal. How's it going?
Good. Bats. What's going on with you?
Yeah, nothing much. Just wondering from you. So, what are you bullish on right now besides the VIX?
What am I bullish on right now? I love technology, man. I'm bullish on technology. Okay. I'm bullish on NVIDIA. I'm bullish on Cisco. I'm bullish on technology. That's really where I think you have Apple. I mean, you have situations where some of these companies have borderline monopolies going on, and they have very huge barriers to entry. And I think they're huge cash cows. You look at the balance sheet; these companies are sitting on literally nearly, over $100 billion in certain cases, like we're talking about Apple. So I'm bullish in those narratives. And I think if you want to put your money somewhere, I think you either look at a really great ETF in that sector, maybe like an FDN or an iBuy or something like that, or you get into some individual stories that are really ripping.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know me, of course. I trade nothing but SPY options now, and doing really, really well. I mean, it's you mentioned like with your, what is it, your iron condors, it's a lazy way of making money. For me now, I've been trading SPY options for 3 months. That's my lazy way of making money, boring but profitable. Absolutely. So like you, I'm predominantly bearish on the SPY, but because I traded intraday or I day trade, I'm making money either or direction. It doesn't matter. Right now, I just got out of a trade where I went long. I made just over $1,100. Then it hit the top. I've got puts on that. So I can trade it either other way. It doesn't really matter to me, where the SPY is going tomorrow, a week later, doesn't matter because I'm trading it within the same day. Right. So doing really, really well on that. This week I'm up over 2,600, my weekly target 2,500. So doing well on that. It's a relatively slow week for me because normally I'm closer to 5,000 for the week. But, matching your salary is also very good. So
yeah, you say it so nonchalantly.
I'm pretty happy about that.
I'm better than 5,000 for the week. You say it so nonchalant.
Well, it's come to be nonchalant because, I mean, right now I've got people in my Discord room. We trade the SPY. We pretty much know what needs to be done. And, even in a bearish or bullish environment, if you look at the SPY every day, all you're doing is basically getting in at the low of day or new low of day, buying calls, or at the high of day, new high of day, and buying puts. this thing reverses most of the time.
Absolutely.
So there's no rocket science with the SPY when you trade day to day. I do, however, remember it wasn't last Friday, it was 2 Fridays ago where, like you, we're all bearish on the SPY at some level, but this thing 2 Fridays ago kept on going up.
Yeah.
And I was caught in a nasty trade there, lost like 10 grand. That was a nasty day. But by and large, on average, the SPY just trades, like I said, all you're doing is trading the reversal at the extremes of the day. And as long as you are, like, if you go in early, you could actually, with a straddle, you can actually make money on both sides based on where the 50% retracement level is, which is normally where VWAP is in the first hour or two. So, I've come to know the SPY any time of day. I can look at it 5 seconds. I can tell you what you should do to increase your chances of success. So, yeah, I can't complain, even though I agree with you. I'm bearish. I don't understand why the SPY would even be going up in this environment. But, yeah, doing well, and thanks for the early show. Luckily, I'm at home this week, so good to catch you again, Sal.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Bass. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. My girl walked in with a delicious-looking slat. Oh, I thought it was a sandwich. That's a slice of pizza. Okay. All right. She's saying how long I've been on. I've been on for, what is it, almost 30 minutes. 30 minutes. All right. Yeah. I mean, you can see on these hourly charts, particularly when we're, below the Keltner channels, it's been a great buy. It's been a great buy on those higher time frames below the Keltner channel. Or even if we're just even touching it for any reason on the hourly charts, it's been a great buy where we talk about the SPY or the SPX. Yes, sir, Kelly. Just a little quick show, just running to wrap up into Power Hour with the family. 703, what's up? You're on the air.
Yeah, what's up? How you been?
Good. Fisher, what's going on?
Nothing. One, John is the shit, man. I've been watching his videos over and over again, the 2 episodes you did with him. Oh, my God, that man has some deep knowledge in him.
Yes, he does. Looking forward to talking
because
to him
of him, I listened the Free to Choose documentary on YouTube. Man, Nothing Burrow is a genius.
Yeah. Good guy,
And
man.
2,
Support him and get his book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got his book or not, but if you get a chance, go ahead and support him and get that book.
I'll get it as soon as possible. 2 things. One, have you seen Robinhood? They put at least 16 cryptocurrencies right now in their exchange or something.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, cryptos are still doing their thing. I mean,
But do you know why?
Well, I don't know why. I mean, in particular, why they spread out beyond the bigger names in crypto. I mean, if you know the answer, like, let us know.
No, Bitcoin is about to run. It looks like it's about to run hard because of the news that just came out a couple of days ago. And then because that news made Bitcoin go from 6,400 to 7,500 almost in an hour on Tuesday or Monday.
Yeah, you're talking about when they came out and said, I think it was BlackRock said that they're trying to create a division of crypto or something like that.
Yeah, it's the CBOE trying to turn that thing into an ETF.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google Bitcoin ETF and you're going to see it. And because of that information, people think that there may be another run for Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin runs all the other ones with them. Like Bitcoin is the father and the other coins are like the parents, the kids, and they follow the father.
Well, look, as John mentioned, the only reason we have Bitcoin is because, again, we just had a conversation on inflation. That's the only reason why we have Bitcoin. I mean, people see it as a way to, save value. It's basically what they look at as gold, similar to that. And they're looking at our dollar. I mean, the fact of the matter is, $7,000 US for one Bitcoin. I mean, that says a lot about what people feel about, the US dollar and about where our country is economically with our deficits and whatnot. So if we weren't in this position with what we have in terms of fiat currency, we wouldn't even have a Bitcoin. There wouldn't be no conversation in regards to that. It's because people feel that the value of our currency is decreasing. We're losing value there.
It's true.
intrinsic value. And it's true. It's true. Absolutely, it's true.
Because of what happened with
that's why
Nixon when he
Bitcoin
took
is
us
here.
out the gold standard and put us in a foreign exchange standard.
Right. Right.
Our money was valued as gold because the original story of money was gold.
Right.
They used to travel from one country to another country giving gold, but they keep getting robbed. So they made banks and they said, "I'll give you my gold, you give me paper." That's how legal tender started.
Absolutely.
And
but Fisher, I don't want to go into it because I got to have John
Yeah.
come in tonight, so I don't want to go so far into that topic. But we'll cover all that.
My
tonight.
apologies. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I was just telling you about the Bitcoin ETF and how crazy Robinhood is
Appreciate you,
accessing
Fisher,
almost
man.
like 16
Do you have
coins.
any tickers for us?
Huh?
You have any tickers for us?
No, the only thing I've been watching because of that, because I've been telling his Discord is fire, and his strategy is almost really good. I mean, because the thing is, a couple of months ago, I had like $1,000 to try penny stocks. I blew it up. Now I'm going to options, paper train a lot, so I'm trying to save up my money so I can do options now.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you, Fisher. Thanks for the call, man.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Fisher G. Long-time listener, long-time caller. Appreciate you, T. Kelly. Yeah, get them likes up, guys. Get those likes up. Press like on this video. I know most of the people watch my show after the show. The live show it was pretty cool that you guys who have the time to watch it. But for the most part, I know the replays tend to be more popular. So even if you're watching the replay, my truckers, my soldiers, construction workers, all you guys, go ahead and press like on this video right now. I appreciate you. All right, so let's see what's going up. Again, shout out to Equity Feed. Get 2 weeks free, equityfeed.com. One of my long-term sponsors. No credit card required. And looking at some of the stocks that are up right now, most of them aren't going to be up for very long. Mtsl has been that was a nice little pump that a lot of guys made some really good money on. And as you can see, it doesn't hold those higher levels very, very well. You got a nice little squeeze here from the starting on the 15th, and actually no, that was the morning of the 16th, about 3 days ago. Squeezing some people there, and of course you can't find buyers at those higher levels. It comes all the way down. That's always a tricky way to trade here because you go short somewhere around here, and it starts squeezing the hell out of you, and then you then cover here, and then all of a sudden, an hour or two later, you're like, what the hell? I should have held on a lot longer. So those kind of moves can set you up there. Mtsl, I looked at the balance sheets, quite poor balance sheet. IQ, the Chinese version of Netflix. And I talked about how there's an article, I think on Market Watch, where, I mean, the Chinese government literally tells them what to put on that website. You know, that's why we don't have Netflix in China. There's no Netflix in China. I know there's some people who use like firewalls and whatnot to try to get around that. But Netflix is technically banned in China. So is Facebook. Because the government censors rather, what these people watch, man. What these people watch. It's crazy. So I figure, in my opinion, like, yeah, you guys are going to play it for the money, but at the same time, my values don't allow me to invest in a company like that. Besides private prisons. I mean, when I see, you know, Chinese companies like that. What else? HUYA, he put up Cali Rob. HUYA, I don't know anything about this one. Don't know anything about this one. Looks like it's an ADR. Riot Blockchain, yeah, Riot Blockchain ran what's that, yesterday, right? I saw Riot Blockchain run yesterday. Here's that move yesterday on Riot Blockchain based on that news that we just got done talking about with Fisher G. And, you know, look, the Bitcoin stocks have been crushed for a long time, you know, and then we saw moves on BTSC, BTCS, all those OTC scammy Bitcoin stocks started running again. They all got popped. All right, they all got popped. And look at that. That's a buy signal. The fact that it actually held that higher band, came back in and went back out. That was your buy signal. All right, it comes back into the Keltner channel and then pops right back out. That's a beautiful sign. It continues to go higher now. as Riot Blockchain, which has been exposed by CNBC and a couple of these networks, and here we are still nowhere near the highs we had earlier in the year, right? I mean, this is a stock that at one time traded at well over $40 a share. So we're well off the highs for the stock in Riot Blockchain. But as you can see here, even on the weekly chart, things are looking really good for Riot Blockchain. There's the buy signal on the weekly chart if you're willing to go that long. Looks like that buy was at $5.88, now sitting at $6.19. Again, not the kind of thing I would play, but I know some guys are going to make some money on it. All right. Yeah. Right now, we're trying to figure out where the strength is in the market. And we saw the move happen today in real estate, which was really interesting because I couldn't find reasoning for the move in real estate today. And then I started looking through the news, and sure enough, guess who's been talking about real estate for the last 2 days? Mr. CNBC himself. I forgot what's that guy's name, the bald-headed guy? Starts with a C. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. What's that article at? Well, anyway, he's bringing up REITs and suggesting that investors go into REITs or look at REITs as a possibility to put your cash right now, even though we saw that home sales continue to decline. Home sales are actually down. Home permits are down. Home permits are down. We're actually seeing a slide into that, but we're seeing a lot of articles talking about real estate investment trusts and the possible yields that they could, yes, many of them are liquid and low cost, so they do entice people, particularly individuals who have large amounts of capital. We've talked about the ticker O here on the show, Realty Income, ticker is O. They pay a dividend every single month. So every month they pay a dividend. It's a $55 stock if you're a high net worth. And in America, high net worth is about $2.5 million. It's changed practically almost every 20 years. And again, that's due to inflation. 20 years ago, if you had $1 million, you were considered high net worth. Today, it's $2.5 million. If you have $2.5 million, there's practically no investment firm that wouldn't do business with you. There's certain businesses, different depending on their level. If you got $1 million, they won't do business with you. They're looking for a certain type of investor who has a certain amount of liquid capital. All right, and they go into plays like this. So we're seeing real estate run. We had a guy call up about the inverted yield curve that's happening right now. I should have taken a chart of that, and that's a possibility. I mean, that's. For those of you guys who don't understand what the inverted yield curve is, that basically means that the yields on debt that is older, right? Older debt is going lower, and yields on more current, I would say more recent debt is going higher. And that is a sign. An inverted yield curve is basically a sign of a possible recession that could be incoming. So you can go ahead and Google that and learn more about inverted yield curves and where we are in that curve. All right, so people are finding themselves getting more money, more bang for their buck on that, because they don't believe that companies are going to be able to pay on old debt or debt that's older. All right, I know I probably crushed the explanation for you, but yeah, Jim Cramer is his name. All right. How much do you have to have in a mortgage account with Tasty Trade? You mean a trading account? Margin at Tasty Trade is $2,000. If you got $2,000, you can have a margin account at Tasty Trade, and you can do any type of option you want at Tasty Trade. All right. If $2,000 is all you have, then you probably want to go into maybe some really conservative trades that are going to build your capital over a long period of time instead of going for the quick buck. All right. And again, check out optionalpha.com. It's a really great website. Free lessons, 12 lessons that offer you there, almost 20 hours of option in education for any beginner to benefit from. Alcoa selling off. Alcoa selling off. Alcoa selling off due to tariffs and energy costs weigh on a forecast. So it looks like an analyst came out and basically shitted on Alcoa. And their earnings looks like they were today on Alcoa. Total paper says decliners look outward cut. Yeah, the company cut out. Of course, you know, all these companies on tariffs, they're going to put out negative sentiment, particularly companies that have such large exposure, you know, to these tariffs and what's going on in China. They're going to put out negative sentiment for the quarter, you know, for the future quarter. All right, because that's an added cost that they're going to have to pass on to their customers. And then their customers are going to have to pass on to their customers. So we've already seen many business analysts talk about how, and by the way, you got the sell signal when it couldn't go back across. Let me go back into a tighter time frame. But you had the sell signal when it couldn't cross back above that 20 moving average there on the weekly chart. That's why I love these kind of the weeklies a little bit, because that was the sell signal right there when it couldn't pack above that 20 EMA on this weekly. So that week of July 9th, you know, going into this week, that was everything you needed to see right there. That was nice, as you couldn't break above that. That's another sell signal too, breaking below that weekly. All right. Can you set stops on option trades on Tasty Trades? No. I don't think so. I don't believe you can set stops, SSE Trader. You might want to call them because I only set mental stops for the most part. And that's a bad habit of mine. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency coins, bro. I only mess with real money. I don't mess with any kind of cryptocurrencies right now. I mess with real money. You know, at the end of the day, the federal government, you know, when it's tax time, they want US dollars. They ain't taking no crypto. You know what I mean? TL, he said Cokehead Kramer. That's hilarious. Does he have a coke habit? So, you know, he does look like somebody that would probably take coke too. What's going on? Waivers 24 TDOC. Damn, this Alcoa is really selling off though, man. This Alcoa is really selling off. And I'm sure Jim Cramer will talk about it today. All right, going into Power Hour here in about 8 minutes. We'll see what's running. I got my equity feed out. We'll see what's running in just a second. All right, nothing's changing so far right now in the small caps. Nothing's changed so far in the small caps. All right. Let's see here. All right. Couple movers on. None of the big large cap movers. I'm not familiar with any of them for the most part. TCP pipelines and many of them. T-Doc waivers. Tell me, what is T-Doc? It looks like this is a healthcare company. I don't know too much about it. I don't know anything about it actually, but that bullish momentum is powerful there. TCP pipelines. Don't know anything about this company. Nice move today on that stock. Barely gets any volume, but got a lot of volume today. Steel play IIIN. This is a steel play. Again, another stock that barely gets any volume, up today. Electrical components. Most of the other ones I'm not familiar with that are up. Nice move on China though. China, the China Bear ETF We've just been on a tear, right? I mean, obviously, we've talked about how these leveraged ETF, and again, it's on my website, advancedequityresearch.com. I got a list of these Chinese ETFs you can play, whether it be long or short. Obviously, the bear version of the trade has been doing really, really well. Yang up well over $44. No, sorry, excuse me, $24 from that June 7th price. That's a nice way to move the move your account there. Another one that I also wanted to take a look at too was Brazil. I know Brazil's been in the midst of practically, I think it's BR. What's the Brazil ETF? I think it's BR something. God, what's that? BRW or EWZ, right? Yeah, EWZ. Brazil sort of turning around here too. Again, you're gonna have to do some research on what's going on. I know they had a truck stoppage where all the truckers basically quit. Went on strike as well. Michael Black, you're saying you're trying to get the hang of option trading, but still not getting the hang of it. Well, sir, you can paper trade. That's the great thing about options, is that you can paper trade it literally using pen and paper. Whatever strategy it is you'd like to do. Open up an account at Tastyworks. You don't have to put any money in it. All right. Of course, tell them you're the best at everything. And you can literally open up the platform or TD or whatever it is, and you can paper trade particular plays you want to do. Check out optionalpha.com. You're not going to get the hang of this in a day, 2 days, 2 weeks. Many of the people, your fellow traders in the chat room, they've been trading for years and are still learning. It's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time. Demetrius, how did I learn? Just, trial and error. For the most part, trial and error. If you look at my page, I'm pretty much a penny stock guy. So that's where I started out at. But then eventually, the money got to a point where I just couldn't be taking these OTC risks anymore. Giving me damn heart attacks. So I needed to find a way where I can use, small amounts of money, but at the same time generate returns, that didn't put the entire account at risk. Okay. Ryan gets 3 contracts of SPX a day. 3 contracts, 1 day, 28.35. Ooh, Ryan, that's a ballsy call, man, to buy some 28.35s here on SPX. That's a ballsy call. What do I think of Tim Stike's strategy? I love his strategy. It's what got me here. There are a lot of great pump and dumps, not as much as they used to be. Not as much as they used to be, but penny stocks used to be the shit. It was the shit for a long time. All right, let's see what's on. Real estate is still running. Damn, what's going on with real estate? Shit. Yeah, real estate still running. And real estate, for the most part, if you look at real estate, most of that is pretty much IYR. Which, there it is. There's IYR. Here's today, real estate. Good God. Big move in the real estate. After it looks like you've had almost 4-day sell-off there on real estate. Some of the big companies that make that up. I know Simon Property Group is in there. SPG. Oh, look at that. Simon Property Group. Now, this is a company that owns a lot of office buildings. Not so much residential space. But they own a lot of office buildings. They also own a few malls as well. You're going to have to do the research on that. But again, I see that article from Kramer bringing back retail ETFs. All of a sudden, retail is back. Give me a break, man. They need to stick to a certain narrative. Either retail is dead or retail is back. What is it going to be? Because at the end of the day, when I go to the mall, I don't see anybody there. I don't see anybody there like I used to when I was a kid. You remember when you went to the mall when you were a kid? On the weekends, you literally be bumping into people. It was so many damn people there. Now you go to the weekend, I mean, you know, there's people, but it's not anywhere it used to be. So you started futures trading, trying to understand it. Okay. All right. TLRY. TLRY, Tilray. Okay, yeah, this company just went public today. All right. Yeah, we got like 10 IPOs today. There were, you know, most of them were crappy companies. They're like 10 IPOs out there right now. Let's see the 5 minute on it. All right. Yeah, people love the IPOs. You know, day one on the IPO, everybody loves it. Remember what happened to Dropbox? You know, everybody loved Dropbox. What was, isn't it Box? I think the ticker is Box, right? What's Dropbox's, isn't it? Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, it's Box. Okay, I thought it was Box. Yeah, see, they had a really pretty good week, that first week on the ETF. I mean, that first week of trading. And then after that, it just fell apart. Found a great low there, though, on that weekly chart. Boy, what a buy signal there. Back in April, and it's been on a tear ever since. As you can see here, it's kind of fighting with these higher levels now. So buyers and sellers are really going at it. Another looks like doji sign here on Box. So Box kind of struggling to hold it together here. Dropbox kind of strong holding it together. Let's move in a little closer to the daily chart. Yeah, and as you can see, showing in the daily too, where we're just kind of drifting along here. And rejection of those higher levels on Dropbox. Yeah, online shopping, all that. And people don't want to go out anymore, too. You know, people don't want to go out anymore. I feel like every time you go out, you're putting yourself at risk. You know, people out here are crazy today, man. You know, you go to any kind of super, you're checking around, making sure that you don't see any kind of weirdos around you. You know? Is it, maybe it's just me, but I feel like when I go out, I always check for the weirdo. Let me make sure somebody out here ain't weird. And you gotta keep your eye on them. What's going on? See Andrew in the building. CEI. Yeah. Looking for somebody with a sweatshirt on in the summer. Like, okay, he might have an AR-15 under that. I see you, buddy. Shout out to Dawson. How's the channel going, Andrew? All right. SH, Robin Hood looking real good. Or RH, excuse me. Every time I see RH, I think of Robin Hood. Home Furnishing Company. Home Furnishing, Consumer, Cyclicals. So far, so good with that. Let's go back to Amazon. Let's see what Amazon's doing right now. Amazon, still, you know, we're off the lows, but for the most part, you know, it's still very much a put buyer's market in Amazon. As you can see here, moving a little closer here on the 5-minute chart. And Amazon just can't hold on to that bullish momentum, man. Can't hold on to the bullish momentum. Let's do the 30-minute. And yeah, if you look at the 30-minute, I mean, it's clear that you just can't get the momentum to really get a bull run on this stock. And it's been like that pretty much for the last 3 days on Amazon. As you can see here, you know, tried to get the run started again, couldn't hold it, back into the channel, broke below the 20 EMA within this 30-minute, and now you're not getting above it. And it just acts like a vice grip. You know, it just acts like a vice grip. That 20 EMA, whether you're talking, you know, on the hourly, the 30-minute, or even the daily chart, obviously this has been a bullish case for a long time, so you probably will rarely see it below that level, and it's been a buy signal every time below it. But on stocks that are very bearish, that 20 EMA is like a vice grip. That's what's up, Andrew. It takes time, bro, but it'll build up. It'll build up. All right. Tesla is a stock that it doesn't follow the market. We had a guy call up and explain that Tesla just does its own thing, man. You had an analyst come out today and give a sell rating on Tesla, and you know that it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. This is a stock that you'll go in there and you'll buy some 300 puts, and you know this guy will come out and tweet something, and the next you know it's at 330, 335. So I learned a long time ago to leave Tesla alone. It just does its own thing, and you know what's going to bring Tesla down is a huge fundamental. Either Elon quits or they just have to. There's some disastrous news because they got a fan club, whether it be on YouTube or some of these chat rooms, that is on brainwashed level. 980, you're in the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, sir? This is Mr. Gardner.
Hey, what's going on, Andrew?
Good. Let's see. That CEI that I'm in it heavy, and I got in sort of early. I got in at 60 cents. Right now, it's around 47 cents.
Okay.
You see any kind of growth out of that in the next couple weeks or so? Because they have a merger happening. That another company's buying out all their debt.
You said you got in at 16 cents?
No, 60 cents. I'm sorry.
Oh, 60 cents. Okay. I mean, at 60, I'm oh man. Well, you're up today. I'm curious as. Oh man. I'm trying to look for a story here. Cucumber. Okay, looks like they're looking to sell assets in order to wipe out debt. I don't know, man. I mean, you got to understand when you're dealing with stocks this cheap, there are obviously issues on the balance sheet that sometimes are so strong that they overwhelm, even a narrative that there could be some kind of merger or something happening. How soon have you heard that this could be possibly happening?
By the end of or beginning of September, and they got an extension to stay on the New York Stock Exchange recently to December.
I don't know, man. That's too long. That's too long. I mean, we're about almost 15, 20 days away. I don't want to risk it, bro. I think today, you're up 4%. The stock, you're already down. I just think just take your L and move on, bro. And that's just me being honest with you, bro. It's not, nothing to put you out there or anything. I'm just being honest with you. I just feel like,
Well, keep in mind, I have 7,800 shares in this, and I'm down $1,000,
yeah.
$80. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about giving it some more time to get up at least to 55 cents.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know. I'm not. Here's my thing: I'm just not big into maybe. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like. Let me look at the hourly. Hold on. Let me see the hourly, man. All right. So at least you're above the 50 moving average. See, you're not. You're having trouble breaking into over the 50 moving average on the hourly. How about this, man? If you break 44, you got to get out. If you break 44, you got to get out, man. Because right now, you're barely dangling on the 50 moving average on the hourly. So the short-term sentiment is sideways. And for someone who's already, you know, in some losses on it, you really need this to hold. You really need this 50, you know, RSI to hold in order for those losses to kind of cave in a little bit here. If it continues, if it breaks below it, it could get really ugly here because you don't have too much support, you know, beneath you.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
All right.
Well, that's it, I guess, for the most part. We'll see.
Right. That's all you can do. Right. That's right. Right. Keep that in mind. But again, of course, bro, I wish tomorrow the deal gets done and it goes to 75 cents. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that'd be golden.
Right. You know, but I don't want you to get comfortable with a hold and hope, you know, kind of mentality. Sometimes, you know, when you go into a trade and it doesn't, particularly if it doesn't immediately go your way, you want to be able to just cut your losses and move on.
Yeah, I bought the share about 4 or 5 days ago, though. And I was in profit for about $200, and then I was like, dang, can it just go up a little bit more?
Yeah.
But it didn't. It crashed down, and now I'm sort of holding the bag.
Right. Yeah. I would. You know, again, 44 cents, bro, is probably below that. I think it's not looking too pretty. But yeah.
All right, so that's cool. Are you gonna start doing your showtime doing this time, or just a one-time thing?
No, this is just a one-time thing. I mean, if shit comes up and I can't do a night show, then I will come the very next morning, like I just did right now. But it's a kind of one-time thing. I just wanted to, you know, chat it up with the people. That's all.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate your time, bro, and I'll be keeping in touch.
Appreciate you, Andrew. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, bye.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Andrew. And check out his channel, too. He's got a Uber Eats channel he told me about, and that's going really well. Dawson Uber Eats driver. And that's a good look. That's a little good look where he's got a little niche. And you can grow that because, you know, just the job itself creates more than enough content that he can build that on. But it's very tough, man. When you're trading these small cap stocks that are incredibly volatile, you know, when you get some profit on these, man, you got to take that shit. You know, if you're talking Amazon or some of these other ones, you're up $200, $300. You can sit on those a little bit because, you know, they have you know, the ability to kind of continue to run. But these small cap stocks, man, that can just change. When you get $300, $400, $500, take that and run for your life, man. Take that and run for your life. You know, particularly a stock like this. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where, I mean, I'm looking at these, you know, shadows or wicks, whatever you want to call them, and they're long as fuck, man. They're long as fuck. That tells me it doesn't hold highs very well. So the SPY is the gift that keeps on giving. Gotta love the SPY. Love SPX. Let's get back to the SPY here, and we're selling off. We're selling off, and again, you know, the markets ran pretty aggressively over the last couple of weeks. So again, we get back to the daily chart. You'll see the move. You know, coming out of those you know, those basically below 2,700, right? Below 2,700, and it was like a spaceship, man, and it just really took off. So we're cooling off here, and I'm looking for us to come back and touch that higher, you know, band of the Bollinger, that 227. I'm thinking a return back to 2,700. I mean, you know, a return to 2,800 rather, 2,800. SPY is the numbers are fooling me there, but a return to 2,800 is very, very likely here as we go back to touch the top of that Keltner channel. All right, because we learned in January of this year that it's not good to keep running without touching that higher Keltner channel. If you go back to January, if you can see here when we took off from the beginning of January, if you remember, we just took off and kept running, and as you can see here, it doesn't end very well if you go too long without touching that higher band. All right. things don't go too well without it. So every so often, practically if you go back, I've noticed almost every, week or so, sometimes it's twice a week, sometimes multiple, where you got to come back after a rally, you got to come back and touch that higher band. And if the rally is for real, touching it is a buy signal for it to continue. So it will bounce off that higher Keltner channel if the run is for real. If the run is for real. All right? And you can look into, there are tons of YouTube videos on how to trade using Keltner channels if you're interested in that indicator. All right? Yes, indeed. Can I give you a demonstration on spread options? That's something I could probably do in a future show, Michael. I can do that in a future show. I've done that before. I mean, you can take a look at my previous video. You can take a look at my previous video, not the one before it. I actually have to look that up. Let me see. That I kind of already did that. I don't want to turn this into kind of a learning lesson. I just kind of want to wrap up the trading day with the people. And let me see here. All right, what trade was that? That Nike video, that'll be a really good one for you to learn too. I'm gonna put up either tonight, no, probably not tonight because I got John coming, but by this weekend, I'm putting out an Amazon Iron Condor trade where it's an income strategy for Amazon. It's an income strategy for Amazon. The idea is that Amazon will sell off going into earnings, but not so aggressively that won't break within that Iron Condor. It won't break the Iron Condor. So it'll be a way for you to generate income buying the high side to the low side of Amazon. So it's going to be a really interesting video to put together. All right. Oh, hold on, let me get out of this black box. All right. And by the way, my Condor is still looking pretty. Right now, I'm 2,700, 2850. So 2,700, 2850 is my Condor that I'm in right now, and things are looking real good. Use Ford motor, yeah. Ford motor as well. All right, my girl's looking at me crazy. She wants me to get off the computer right now. All right. Why are you making that face? You mad at me? Oh, okay. Am I buffering? Doesn't look like I'm buffering. I don't think I'm buffering. All right. Can I get one more ticker? Can I get one more caller before I get up out of here? As we now into power hour, but nothing's going on. As you can see here, we're the bulls are trying to rally back here, but they're struggling. Here's the 5-minute on SPY. Here's the 5-minute on SPY, and the last 5 minutes haven't gone so well for them. They're trying. The bulls are trying, but things aren't going so well for them. Let me get to the SPX. 2,800 is, I mean, they need to just accept that 2,800 is a reality. We're going back to 2,800. SPX, SPY 280. Just accept it, man. We've ran real hard. We're going lower. Am I bullish on DPC now that Pizza Hut is racist? Papa John's is racist. I'm bullish on Domino's because they're doing that expansion of the fact that they're putting all these like little mini Domino's and all these universities and parks and stuff now. That's the only things that got me bullish about Domino's. Let's look at the weekly chart on Domino's. Let's see where we are for the week. Okay, so Domino's, as you can see here, nice trend higher. fighting for these higher levels. So now, so Domino's going through what a lot of stocks that have done very well are doing now. There's just kind of consolidating above that higher Keltner chance. So we're gonna come back and touch that to see if it bounces off. But of course, if it holds, yeah, you got to stay bullish there. Netflix is a sell. Netflix is a sell right now. Dunkin' Donuts expanding to California. I didn't know Dunkin' Donuts wasn't in California. I didn't know Dunkin' Donuts wasn't in California. What you guys need to do out in Cali, you need to bring that. What's that burger place in California that everybody in California tells me about their burgers are so good? In-N-Out. There it goes. Y'all need to bring that In-N-Out over here to this side of the country. Man. In-N-Out burgers look so delicious, man. Will it ever go up, Netflix? Oh, I mean, never say never. But right now, let's get back to the daily. Right now, the sentiment is very bearish. We talked about, and in fact, I made a video on Netflix, and I don't know why people bought it up like they did. I didn't know what that was about. And I told guys who lost on earnings that, hey, you're going to be able to, sell at least, not on the floor, right? Because, people were just like running for their lives that night when earnings, came through. And sure enough, that day you bounced. But as you can see here, you're going a lot lower. You're going a lot lower. All right. And today you had a rejection of the higher levels today. What's going on, Bill Betts? You said you like Cookout. Cookout is delicious. Bats, I know you lived out here in Durham. So I know you got some of that Cookout. Oh no, Greensboro, North Carolina. So you got that good Cookout. We talked GE a couple shows ago, and GE, I like GE, man. I like GE where it's at right now, because at this point, can it get beat up even further? I like where GE is right now, man. Put some time on this option. I like what it's doing. I love these higher, these higher lows on the RSI. So you got some buyers here. All right. If this breaks below it, then of course, you have some concern here. But even right now on the weekly, you're on 38 on the RSI. So you're still relatively oversold. And I like GE for a long-term hold. Not the prettiest day, right? It's barely hanging on to any profit today. But when you look at this weekly chart, it's still fighting. Obviously, it's still got some sellers it's got to get rid of. But, you got to like what you see so far over the last, 2 weeks. Yeah, they got kicked out the Dow. But read the news on GE. I mean, they got this new CEO who sounds like he's got a handle on things. And, he believes that he can turn things around. He's mentioned that he's got his whole life savings in the stock. So he's been affected by the downturn in GE. And, that means something. So he's got an incentive to, make this better. But when you look at GE, look at that RSI, look at that MACD, and then you look at the stock chart, you're saying, okay, I might want to take a small position to see what happens. Oh, okay, Bats. Earnings tomorrow, Bill Betts. Okay. Yeah, and even if they're not so great, we've seen it before where companies who have beat up stocks, even if earnings aren't so great, they'll still run on it. One company that we don't talk about a lot anymore, but we used to, was Snap. you know, was Snap. You know, we saw Snap. If you look at the last earnings report on Snap, you had a huge sell-off due to a lot of bad press. There's a lot of celebrities saying that they leave. Earnings came out, and you know, you went sideways for the most part. But you know, it's been a good trade for you since May. Amazon, you know, Snap has been a good trade for you since May. You were in the $10. You're up what, $13.36 right now on Amazon. So, I mean, in Snap, still thinking Amazon. So again, looking at the weekly chart, you're kind of struggling with these 13s, but and this is another company too where earnings is right around the corner. Another chart that I'm getting excited about is AMD. Really getting excited about AMD and the possibility that this is something that's, man, I mean, look at AMD, man. I mean, look at AMD. We've completely forgotten about this company. Slight sell-off today, but for the most part, man, this is a new trend, and it's doing its own thing. I mean, you look at AMD and what it's been for, you know, the last couple of years, and then something happened in around May. I know they came out with some new processors. I know at the beginning of the year the Bitcoin thing was big, but they've gone beyond the whole Bitcoin story, and now it's, you know, you're gonna have to let me know what's really driving this, or if it's still Bitcoin. But AMD doing very, very well. You said dip buy in Amazon. Well, we had Mr. Lloyd on the phone. He talked about how Amazon is a sell here. Amazon's done really well, man. Now let it cool off a little bit. Let it cool off a little bit. I know earnings are around the corner. I see guys buying the $1,900 calls in Amazon. I see it. I see it. They're loading up into those $1,900 calls. We're on the show right now. They're loading up heavy. Those 1,900 Amazon calls. You know. What's going on, Cricket? Yes, indeed. Everything's well. AMD typically sells off at earnings. Yes, it has done that quite a bit. This is the last earnings report. Here's another one. Amazon is AMD very much like, excuse me, this is Amazon, but AMD is very much like Facebook. Facebook has a tendency to sell off earnings as well. Okay. Good day for me. I'm up 700 as I'm getting closer to this trade being over. I'm going to put on another condor by this time next week. Yes, indeed. MU, you would do MU as well. MU, let's take a look at MU, Micron Technology, and I'll get up out of here. So far, decent trading day. I mean, you know, we didn't do much. Didn't do much today. Again, I think this is the beginning of a sell-off happening. Just to cool off these last couple of days. MU down 2% today. Down 2% today in MU. If we look at the daily chart, again, this is another stock showing a little bit of weakness here. It ran really aggressively over the last week and a half. What a pullback today. But again, you were able to maintain that 20 EMA. You were able to maintain that 20 EMA. So technically that means stay in the trade. Technically that means stay in the trade. Of course, if you break below that, that's where you sell, as you can see here. You know, if it breaks below it, you sell. Breaks above it. This has been a great, that'd been a great put opportunity there when it broke above that, below that 20 moving average. Would have been a nice put. What's going on, Desert Edge? MU top, yeah, MU's topping out a little bit, and that's what's going on with Amazon, man. That's what's going on with Amazon, and that's why I'm not too confident that, you know, you buy puts or you buy calls here. You know, we're topping out on Amazon too. You got to respect these candlesticks, man. You got to respect these candlesticks. You got a really nice doji yesterday in Amazon. That was a signal right there. That was a signal right there. You know, but maybe it could be something like this again. So where it just kind of gets ahead of itself, needs some time to readjust, and it kind of gets back going. All right, so kind of look into the past and see what it can do here. But I absolutely agree with you that earnings is right around the corner, and we could have a surprise on either side of the trade. But you will see a big move in Amazon either way. Either way, there's going to be a big move in Amazon. What else? MU topping. Somebody saying, what's going on with apps? Man, I haven't took a look at that stock in a long time. Apps. Oh, it's a piece of shit. That's what that is. Good Lord. It's a piece of shit. I used to be a big fan of apps because it struggled to break above 99 cents for a long time. I mean, just to get above $1 was such a big problem for this stock. And then it finally did it and ran to $2. But good company. I mean, the business makes perfect sense. I mean, but it is what it is. All right. So let me get out of here again. I'll be back later tonight. I got my man John Bogan coming on. We're going to talk the economy. We're going to talk, immigration. We're going to talk basically everything free markets. Join us tonight. We're aiming for 9 o'clock. I know he gets off late today, but we're aiming for 9, 10-ish o'clock. And that's when I'll be back on with my man John Bogan. Bring some questions. He'll be happy to answer them. And we'll make sure, we get that free market conversation going, as I promised. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Great tickers discussed. Right now, the market churns on, guys. The market churns on. Today wasn't as big of a pullback as I wanted to see, but it still happened. It still happened. So we should be going back to touching 2,800. And then from 2,800, I think we continue to go higher to touching possibly 2020 or maybe even 2030 here at SBX. But I don't think this is the beginning of any serious pullback. We're simply just got ahead of ourselves, and we're just consolidating a little bit. All right? I think the bulls are firmly in control still of the narrative. All right? They still got everybody convinced that everybody in America is doing well. Everybody in America is doing well. Everybody's got money. Everybody's, buying brand new cars, cash, prime rate. Everybody's buying homes, prime rate. That's the narrative right now. And it's not true. I mean, we can show articles here. People having trouble coming up with even $400. The average American, 60%, well, 40% of Americans don't have $400. I showed you guys that article a couple of days ago. You can Google it right now. This economy is teetering on a disaster, folks. All right? We'll talk about that tonight. Inflation, quantitative easing, everything, credit, all of that tonight with John Bogan. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the show. Special daytime episode. Be back later tonight. Take care, everyone. I'm out.